Hello, students. Today we are going to read the poem The Ant and the Cricket. Actually, this is a story in the form of poem adapted from the stories of Aesop. And Aesop is one of the greatest writers of stories of ancient times. So, before reading the poem, we'll know what a fable is. Fable. Fable is a literary device. It is a thing used in literature. A story, fable is called a story, usually featuring animals. So, we can say that a fable is a story in which animals take part and behave animals behave and speak as human beings because animals are the characters in fables. They highlight human follies, and because animals are there as characters and they behave like human beings, so they expose the follies, the weaknesses, and the foolishness and the weaknesses of human beings are presented by those characters, animal characters. And one more thing a fable has, it has got a moral lesson in it. So the story that we are going to read, the poem, it is a fable. It means it is a story, but it is in the form of a poetry. So is a fable in the poetic form. It is, so it is a story, it will have a moral in it also, but it is in the form of a poem. It is about importance of self-help or self-support. It tells us that it is very important if we have this value of self help or self support. And it also advocates, the poem advocates or the poem supports good management of time. It also talks about the good management of time, that if we manage the time in a better way, so our life will always be good. So the character that will be there in the poem are: number one, cricket. Cricket is an insect. It has got a very shrill sound, uh, and a cricket, it is said to be lazy and aimless fellow. Aimless, that has no aim in of it, no foresight. It does not have any foresight. It cannot we can say know of the future. Okay, it cannot guess about the events. It cannot have any idea about what is going to happen. So always searching for pleasure, and he was lazy, he was aimless, and he always searched for pleasure, so he does not lead a very serious life. And the second character, an ant. And an ant, we all know that ants are really hardworking, they are good manager of time, they have foresight, they are sincere, and they are disciplined. So we will have two characters in front of us, and both the characters are very much different from each other, and we will hear what happens to uh, the cricket. And he goes to the ant for help, and ant, though they are very polite, but they do not help the cricket. And how does the cricket suffer at the end? So it will be told in the poem. So let us read the poem. In introduction, a fable is a story that we have already discussed. It is a story often with the animals as characters that conveys a moral, conveys, that gives a moral. So a fable is a story that has got animals as characters, and it also gives a moral. This poem about an ant, the poem is about an ant and a cricket, contains has, the poem has an idea of far reaching significance, importance. So its importance is really far reaching, it reaches very far. which is as true of a four-legged cricket, because cricket has got legs. So this story, or this moral, or the significance is for the four-legged cricket as of two-legged one. And two-legged one, who is the two-legged creature? This stand for human beings. Two-legged one means human beings, and this story is really true about the cricket as well as human beings. Surely you have seen a cricket that has two legs. So the writer says that we have seen the cricket. The cricket stands for a living being, a creature that has two legs. And who are these creatures? Human beings, for sure. So the poem is: a silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm, sunny months of gay summer and spring. A silly, foolish, a foolish young cricket. It was a young cricket shown there. Accustomed was in the habit of. A young cricket who was in the habit of singing. A young cricket was there and he was in the habit of singing through the warm, sunny months of gay. Gay means happy, summer and spring. So we have been presented cricket in front of us, and that cricket uh, in the season of summer. And let me remind you that in England or in European countries, summer season is the best season they consider, because those are very cold area, and the summer season, in that season there is some sun there, so they really like that season. So what the poet says, that the young silly young foolish cricket, he was in the habit of singing only through the warm sunny months, and we can say that the months of gay summer, we can say when the time is really good for someone. And what the cricket try to do in that time, he just enjoys, and he does not do anything else. And spring, in summer and spring season, what does the cricket do? He is in the habit of singing only in that time, in summer season and in spring season as well. And what happens later on, when the time is propitious, when the time is good for him? Okay, when the time is good for him, he does not do anything. Instead of doing some work, he just spend all his time in singing. Okay, and began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. And when the good days spent, and he had spent those good days in singing only, and when those good days spent, he began to complain. So he has got a complaint when he found that, and when he reaches home and he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. Okay, so now it is the time of winter. Winter is the season where no greenery will be there. Everything, every natural phenomena is covered with snow. No vegetation and nothing is there. Even the green leaves on the trees could not be found. So what the poet says, that the same cricket who spent all the summer and spring seasons in singing, and in winter season he has got something to complain. And what for he is complaining? Because he does not have anything else in his cupboard. His cupboard was empty. He did not have anything in winter season. Not a crumb, not a piece of food, crumb, piece, to be found on the snow covered ground, because now winter season is there, the ground is covered with snow. And on that ground, not a piece of greenery is there, not a flower, because winter is there, every natural object is covered with snow. Could he see? He could not see even flower. He could not see even a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become me and me? And then what does he say? The cricket says to himself, is going to happen. What will become? What is going to happen to me? To me, to the cricket. So what this first stanza says, The first stanza says that the cricket who spent all the summer and spring season or good time where he could work, but he did not work. Instead of doing work, he just spent all his time in singing. And when the adverse days came, when the hardship came, and he had to collect everything in summer and spring season, but he did not collect, and when the winter came, he was to use those things that he should have collected in summer and spring season, and in winter season he uh, could use those things, but he did not collect and he could not use, and the nature was against him. There was not a piece of food. Even the ground is covered with snow, and the flower and the tree, they are without anything, without greenery. So nothing was there. The nature, we can say that it is sleeping at the time of winter. So he was in really very bad condition. So the other thing we can note in this poem, look at the rhyme. Sing and spring it rhymes, home and come rhyme, found and ground rhyme, sea, tree and me, last three line of this stanza rhyme. So it is a fable, it is a poem, and the rhyme is very good. The music is very good. He is using some literary devices as well as he's using alliteration here. What is alliteration? The repetition of consonant sounds and sir. Sunny, summer, spring. So the sound sir is repeated here. So this is called alliteration. So he's using this technique alliteration as well here. So in first stanza we came to know what happens to the cricket, and what is there in the second stanza. At last by starvation and famine make bold, because he did not have anything to eat. So at last, at the end, by starvation and famine make bold. Bold means brave. Now he had to show the bravery. Why? Because he was dying. He was dying, and he did not have any other option except showing that courage. And why was he showing that courage? Because he was dying of hunger, starvation, starvation, dying of hunger, remaining hunger, and famine. Famine here is the same, lack of food. He did not have food. He was dying of hunger. That's why he had shown some courage. All dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, away he set off to a miserly ant to see if to keep him alive he would grant him shelter from rain. So this is what he showed his courage in. So he showed his courage in just asking for help from those ants. So he was showing some courage, and he was going to ants dripping with wet. So when he came out, so because it was winter season, so there was moisture on his body, so he was quite wet there. The water drops could be seen on his body dripping. The water drops could be seen on his body, and he was really wet and all trembling because it was really cold. He was trembling, he was shivering, shaking. Away he set off. He set off, started his journey. To set off means started his journey. So where he started his journey towards, he started to go towards a miserly ant. Miserly, one who does not spend spend money lavishly. That is called miser. So he went to a miserly ant. So economical ant, we can say, not miserly but economical. They do not spend something lavishly because ants, they have good foresight. They know that they could not waste anything, and they are so intelligent that they had collected something for winter. So the cricket, he goes towards an ant, and the ant is said to be miserly. The cricket is really in a very bad condition to see, and he went there to that ant to see if to keep him alive he would grant him shelter from rain. Okay, he went to that ant in order to see if he could have some shelter from rain, because it was raining there. That's why he was dripping with wet. He was dripping with wet because it was raining. Okay, so he wanted some shelter. That's why he went to that ant. And a mouthful of grain. Okay, he wanted shelter from rain, and also a mouthful of grain. He wanted to eat something. He wanted some grain to eat so that he could keep his body and soul together, so that he could live. He should not die. So he wanted shelter and grain from that ant. He wished only to borrow. And what he wished, he did not wish to take anything uh, from the ant, just just for taking, but he wanted to borrow it. And to borrow means to take something with the promise to return. So he wanted just to borrow something. He's not going to take it forever, but he wanted to take some grain. He wanted to borrow some grain so that when the good days will be there, he would return that grain to the ant. He will repay it tomorrow. Tomorrow, when the day will come, when the good days will come, so he will repay. Okay, he will pay it back tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. If not, and if he's not getting that grain and shelter, he must die. It is for certain. Must means it is certain that he would die of starvation and sorrow itself. So in the second stanza, having we have got the same rhyme. A, so bold, cold, ant, grant, rain, grain, borrow, tomorrow, sorrow. Last three lines rhyming. So in the second stanza, we see that the cricket, he wishes to go to the ant. He was showing some courage, and he wanted some helps, shelter, and also some grain, and just he wanted to borrow it. Says the ant to the cricket. And when he requested the ant, so what was the reply of the ant? The reply of ant was as usual. We could guess what the reply would be. The ant says to the cricket, I am your servant and friend. So the ant was really polite. Okay, it was showing manner to him. So the ant did not deny him directly. He said, the ant said that uh, he was a servant and a friend to the cricket. But we ants never borrow. But there are some rules in the lives of ant, that they do not borrow from others. And when they do not borrow from others, borrow, take something with the promise to give. Okay, and land means to give something with the promise from others to take it back. So the ants, they neither borrow nor they land. So this is the rule, and they could not break that rule. That's why the ant, he could not, or the ant could not help the cricket. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by? Lay by means lay by. Lay by means to collect something in order to use for the bad days. When the weather was warm. When the weather was warm means when it was warm, it was summer season, and he could do some work instead of singing. So the ant asked the cricket if he had nothing saved in that season. When the weather was good, quoth the cricket. And quoth means sad, archaic use of this word. It means sad. The cricket said. The cricket replied, not I. What did he reply? The cricket replied that I had not saved anything for bad days. My heart was so light. My heart was so light. Earlier we have come across the character of uh, cricket, that the cricket is really light-hearted, always try to enjoy. That's why he said that his heart was so light because the weather was good in summer season, that I sang day and night, and that he would sing continuously day and night. He did not think even for the days to come. For the worst days to come, he did not think. He just continued to enjoy. For all nature looked gay. And why would he continue to sing? Because the nature was happy. The nature was happy. It was good weather. The season of summer, and after that, the spring season, they are good. Okay, that's why he only enjoyed. He did not think that winter was to come there. You sang, sir, you say. So now what the ant said to him again. You sang, sir, you say. And as the ant says that he himself admits that he sang in the days of summer. Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. If you sing if you sing in the summer, you will have to dance the winter away. Okay. Now the it was a very blunt reply. The ants are not mincing any word. Directly they say, or naturally they say that it is not their habit to borrow or lend something. And if the cricket had enjoyed all through the summer and spring seasons, so the ants could not help the cricket, and he had to dance all through the winter, and he had to spend that winter just dancing without food and without shelter, because he enjoyed all through the summer. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket. The wicket, it means the ant just closed the door for the cricket. Okay, so thus ending, the ant ended to speak. The ant hastily, quickly lifted the wicket. The ant lifted the wicket means it showed the closed door to the cricket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket, and he had made the cricket go back from where it had come. This was the story. Folks call this a fable. What the poet says, that folks means people. People call that it is a fable. It is a fable. It means it is a story in which there is more imagination than reality. So people call it a fable. I will warrant. I will give guarantee. I give guarantee that it is true. That it is not merely imagination. It has some truth in that. Some crickets have four legs. Some crickets have four legs. It means there are some creatures like cricket who had got four legs, who do not save anything while the days are good, who do not think of their future, do not save anything. So there are some people like there are some crickets. Okay, but what the poet says at the end, and some have two means some crickets have got two legs. And who is he mentioning to? He is mentioning to human beings. Some cricket have two legs, and who is that two-legged animal? It is, or two-legged creature. It is human beings. So what the poet wants to say, that in human beings also, among us, so many people are there who are so lazy, who do not think of future, who always think of their present only, and who only enjoy. They are never serious for their life, and when there is need of something, and they find at that time that they do not have anything mm, that they have saved there, and they had to suffer for their for this nature of theirs. So this was all. It was really good story, and we have got a lot to learn from this story. So now let us know about the moral of the story. The story is about virtues of hard work, and virtues, good qualities of hard work that we have seen, and the planning for future. And the qualities of hard work and planning for future, these qualities are shown by ants, because the ants are not going to suffer in that winter time. In the winter time means in adversities, in adverse days. If we enjoy today, okay, the moral is that if we enjoy today without thinking of our future, enjoyment is a good thing, but we cannot enjoy at the cost of our future. So we will surely suffer tomorrow. If we enjoy today, we will suffer tomorrow. Don't postpone any work for tomorrow, because the cricket, he should have thought of his tomorrows. He should not have postponed just collecting something for winter. Okay, he just enjoyed. and that was not a good thing for him. Careful planning is necessary for doing anything, and for a successful life, careful planning is necessary. And this careful planning is shown by the ants, as all of us know. So the careful planning is necessary for a better life. And other thing which is mentioned here, an idle lazy, an idle soul shall suffer hunger. If we are idle, if we are not going to do any work, so we are sure to suffer hunger. We are to remain hungry like cricket if we are lazy like cricket. Okay, work today to eat tomorrow. Okay, what moral is here in this story, that we should work today. If we are going to work today, only then we can say that we can eat tomorrow. If we do not work today, so we are not going to eat tomorrow, means our future is not good at all. So the moral is really good here, and it is quite clear that we should follow the footsteps of ants, not of cricket. And the other thing that we find in the poem, that figures of speech, first figure of speech or poetic devices, we can say that it is personification when non-living things or uh, inanimate things, when animals or non-living things, they are given human qualities. So ant and cricket, they are not merely creature here, they are given human characteristics. Okay, the ant and cricket, they are given human characteristics. They represent human beings. Ant and cricket represent human beings. That's why we can say that personification is there. They are treated as humans. And the second thing is metaphor. Metaphor is a comparison between two things without the words as or like. It is indirect comparison. So where the comparison have been made here, and some have two means some crickets have two legs. It means here some is not cricket here. Here some is compared with human beings. So the crickets are compared to human beings. That's why metaphor is there. Okay, the poet directly did not say that some human beings are like crickets. Okay, but the poet says have two some have two legs. So metaphor is there. And then alliteration, so many examples are there of alliteration. The repetition of consonant sound, and as in sunny, summer, spring, in this line the sound sir is repeated here, and again in this line when and whether were, the sound of were is repeated. So figure of speech is alliteration. So the poem is rich with the many things. It is rich with thoughts. So many good thoughts are mentioned here. We are told by the poet that how we should live our life. And also the poem is good in music. It has got poetic diction. Overall it is a good poem. So I hope you have understood the poem well, and you will be able to uh, give the answers of all those questions, whether internal or at the back of the chapter of the poem. So with this note, I'd like to say thank to you, and goodbye until my next video comes. Okay, thank